bringing you a video full of tips and tricks for your first year at university. It's not a comprehensive list, but it's just a list of a few things that I forgot when I was a first year. They're the sort of things that people told me to do, and then I sort of said, nah, it'll be alright, and I did it anyway, and then sort of regretted it later. So this is me saying, from someone who made these mistakes, don't make those mistakes. I hope you enjoy. I hope you find them useful. And yeah, if you are going to be a fresher next year or this coming academic year, yeah, I hope all this information is useful to you. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the stuff that I recommend you do actually bring. Stuff that I didn't bring for my first year straight away, which would have helped me get started. But I had to buy them later as I realised that I needed them. The first thing I'm going to say is if you're self-catered, you will definitely need cookware, but the things I'm going to recommend to you are at least one small saucepan and frying pan that are both non-stick, because my god, if you're doing a lot of cooking and maybe you're not as experienced at home with the cooking, non-stick cookware is kind of essential, especially if you're a bit lazy with the washing up like I am. So definitely get non-stick, just a small one, like a small frying pan that you can maybe fry an egg in, and then a little non-stick saucepan for your generic pasta sauce and stuff, because you will be doing a lot of pasta sauce, trust me. So one little saucepan, one little frying pan, they will do most of what you need for the first few days anyway. If you're a tea or coffee drinker, I would wholeheartedly recommend that you make sure you bring a box of your favourite tea or coffee, just because when you move in, it's thirsty work moving in, and you'll want a nice little cuppa once you're finished, so definitely make sure you've got some of your favourite. It's also nice to have some of your favourite for when you're feeling a little bit homesick and you want something to remind you of home. A laundry bin and a regular bin definitely bring on day one, because from the very beginning you will start gathering laundry and rubbish that you need to throw somewhere, and you don't want to end up with what I had, which was just sort of a pile in a corner because I had nowhere to put it. Just bear in mind that whatever you bring should be the stuff that you're going to need from the very beginning, because you can buy a lot of the stuff that you need when you actually get there, especially if you're moving to a big city. Like I was coming to Bristol and I knew that there would be shops everywhere, so I knew that I'd be able to get quite a lot of what I needed when I actually arrived. So don't worry too much if you don't come with everything you need, because as I say, you'll find out that there's stuff that you need that you didn't think of before you came, and you'll have to go and buy it. So you know, you might as well go out and buy other things as well. It also makes moving in a little bit quicker because you don't have to move in a ton of stuff that you've bought and brought with you. For example, you'll need laundry stuff at some point, like detergent, fabric softener, like a drying rack, etc. But you probably won't be doing laundry in the first day or even the first week, so chances are you won't need that straight away. Now I'm going to move on to the stuff that you really will not need to start with, that I brought because I was like, oh, I'm going to uni, I'm gonna have so much free time, it's gonna be great. Seriously, heed my words when I say you will not have time for a lot of things. You think you will, because at home you'd be busy doing loads of work for school, and you think, oh well, I've heard a lot of people say that the workload isn't as much for uni, and for first year, yeah, that's true, but you have a lot of other stuff that you have to do and get on with, so you will be busy. You will not have time for things like DVDs, reading, just reading books that you enjoy, unless you're a massive bookworm and can get through, you know, a book a day. One of the mistakes I made was bringing 4 sets of cutlery and crockery. I think I've got 6 sets of all of my cutlery. I have not needed 6 sets of cutlery. You just don't. You need 2 at most, 2, because if anything, having more sets just makes you put off the washing up more, because you're like, oh, it's all right, I've got another set. And you've got a pile of washing building up because you just keep using clean stuff when you should be washing up the stuff that you used a week ago. Not saying that happened to me, but it does make you think twice about doing the washing up. You're like, oh, I can last a bit longer, yeah. Be aware that you are going to be taking up space in a shared space, so you need to try and sort of economize what you've got. If you're anything like me, You will not need, now this is definitely, you will not need all of your notes from your A-levels and your GCSEs. You just won't. You won't look at them, you will be studying completely different stuff in a different way, and you will not look at your old notes. I mean, this is my experience anyway. In uni, you cover different stuff in a different way, so the stuff you've learned already is almost out of date already. There was something that I learned this year that completely contradicted what we learned at A-level. It's like when you're children and you're learning the alphabet, because you first learn it as sort of the phonetic alphabet, don't you? I think they still do that. You still learn it a, b, curly k, you know, duh. You still learn it like that. And then eventually you learn that, oh no, nobody says it like that anymore, it's A, B, C, D, E, etc. It's like relearning the alphabet. You start with that framework and it grounds what you learn at uni, but you won't go back to using the phonetic alphabet. It's not, you use it to teach others, but you don't use it again, because you have learned better. So you won't read your old notes. You just won't. You just won't. That's my experience. If it's different for other courses, I apologise, but for my course, for a music course, I've not read a single one of my old notes, although I think I brought all of them. Do not bring every item of clothing that you own, because you will probably go home. You will most likely go home during the holidays, or just, you know, occasionally you'll go home, you'll make trips home, where you can pick up the clothes that are more seasonal. For example, I've only brought all of my summer clothes with me at the moment because I know I'm going home in about a week. So I can bring some of my summery clothes back and then, you know, take a lot of my less summery clothes, like my jumpers and things, I can take a lot of that stuff back here when I come back. So I know that I'm going home and I'm going to be picking up clothes, so I haven't bothered to bring all of it. It just takes up space. I haven't got that much wardrobe space. I had even less in my student accommodation. So yeah, you don't need all your clothes. Just leave some of it at home. As nice as it is to have photos of family and friends with you, you probably won't have anywhere to put them. If you're going to bring printed out photos of your family and friends, I would recommend putting them in a photo album and just having a select few in a photo album that you can look through. And they're nice, you know, it's nice to have a little photo album that you can look back on. Another thing I might recommend is, you know, modern technology, you can store them all on your laptop, you can store them all on your phone these days. So have a select few favourites on your electronic devices, because then you can look through them wherever you are, which is much better. And chances are your university accommodation won't actually let you stick stuff up on your wall. If you're lucky, you'll have a cork board that you can pin stuff on, but you won't probably be able to use blue tack because they don't like you doing that because it leaves stains on the walls. By all means, make your room look like yours. Make it homely, make it your own, but just be aware of the rules of your university accommodation, because some university accommodations just do not let you stick stuff up. My university accommodation didn't even let me have fairy lights because they were a fire hazard. So just make sure you know the rules, make sure you know what you can and cannot do before you move everything in and start sticking stuff up on the walls. As I was saying earlier, you will not have time to watch every single DVD you own. You will not have time to read every single fictional book you own. There's no point bringing them. I made this mistake, I brought them all, had nowhere to put them, they were just taking up a load of shelf space in my old accommodation. I brought them back with me this year because I knew I'd have more space, but yeah, do not make that mistake, you will not have space. Unless you are spending loads and loads of money on accommodation where you've got tons and tons of space. Even then you might not have that much space, because you can spend tons and tons of money and it doesn't get you any bigger space, it just gets you closer to the university. So just be aware that your uni space might not be huge. That's probably enough to be getting on with. There was a lot of other stuff that I brought with me that I did not need. Just enjoy university and try not to get bogged down in loads of material things, because in the end it's an experience that you will enjoy and remember for the rest of your life, and whether you had those fairy lights or not really isn't going to make much of a difference. As you can see, I'm in a different space now. This is actually my bedroom. I've got this lovely chair and I got my owl cushion. Little elements of home that make it feel more comfortable. I will give you a house tour at some point. It's great to have a house because I've got more space. I have a bigger space for everything. Everything in my room is great. It has its place. I'm not bogged down with loads of stuff everywhere like I was last year. My room last year was tiny and cramped. If you saw the videos from last year, you'll see how small it is. But here is much bigger, so I've got space for everything, and I have a double bed. It's so nice. For now, that's it from me, so have a great day, have a great week, have a great life. Bye!